So my incarnation cross is left angle cross of uncertainty. And I really have found the meanings that I have read different places so different. I've read some that make it sound like a very materialistic kind of cross, right? That it's all about, that I'm to help people have enough material wise. Like it just didn't the whole way, or that I'm meant to have all this material wealth or whatever, that just it didn't resonate. And not that I don't want material wealth. I'd love to always have enough material wealth to get through all times of uncertainty. But when I read your interpretation in the book here, I really started to understand it from a different perspective. And I really realized recently that that's what I do in my mentoring. I help people to navigate the uncertainties of understanding who they really are, and the scary parts about really trusting yourself and your own authority in a way that doesn't say, well, what's my mom going to think? What's my husband going to think? What are my neighbors going to think? What if I lose everything when I quit my job? What if I, like, I don't tell them what to do, but I help them navigate those uncertainties in a way where they feel more empowered and, a sense of trust. But I'm wondering if I know you don't have them all memorized, but are there any things that you feel like you want to say about that cross?
Yeah, but what a lovely cross. And it's one of these like such juicy crosses with like the least juiciest name,
Mm-hmm.
I would name them all differently if I could, but uncertainty makes it sound like unstable, like there's like a lack of knowing what's going to happen. And the reason it's named uncertainty is after Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which I'm sure Ra was like really into at the moment that he was naming things. And so the uncertainty principle says that when things move really fast, you don't know where they're going to go. I think that's how it goes. Oh, no. When things are moving quickly, you do know where they're going to end up more often. And when things are moving slowly, particles are moving slowly, they could go anywhere. You can't predict how they're going to go. And in my mind, I always think of this as an extremely sacral based incarnation cross. And there's a couple of crosses that are so sacral based. Even if you're not a generator, they are still very focused. I also think about this with the cross of contagion as well, because that's cross is kind of about like being turned on and spreading that turn on. And I think of turn on as like the real term for a generator, is that they're just living through turn on or not. And so uncertainty has the 14th gate in it. And the 14th gate is like super magnificently, just like abundant. It's this very abundant sacral gate. And you can think of it also like a genetic archetype, the way that Richard Rudd might describe it, is that even if you don't have your sacral in this defined state, you're still working with the archetype of sacral abundance. If you have the 14, you're still pulling in this archetype around you. And so that 14th gate, I think the 14th gate is really where it gets its name from. And that is to say that the 14th gate is in the individual circuitry, which says that things have to be new and different and weird. And pretty much, if you want to unlock the key to the treasure chest of wealth and abundance and sacral that the 14th is supposed to give access to, then you have to be doing something different. You just can't really unlock that if you're on the beaten path.
Right.
Huge uncertainty there. And so that 14th gate is so heightened in the cross of uncertainty that it's really saying, and with the eighth gate as well with it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's prompting you to be different. And if you are different, then there's a huge uncertainty of what's going to happen with that abundance that's going to get unlocked. And I love saying this to people who have the 14-2, the whole channel, which I have the 14-2, so I can speak on this personally. it's like, if you want to, the road to success is the road through Freaky Town.
Freaky Town.
You have to go through Freaky Town if you want success, if you're
Right.
a 42. And I think that still applies if you just have the 14 in the cross of uncertainty, and there's a huge fear and leap of faith to go into Freaky Town, because there's no guarantee. There's going to be no assurance that if you are following that abundance of what the 14th gate wants you to pursue, that it's going to work out. And it's very scary. It's very uncertain. And so it's a very, very juicy cross. I did use the example of a friend of mine named Juliet. I think I used her real name in that chapter.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
6-2 manifesting generator, which I'm a 6-2, but a projector, which at the beginning, I don't mean to interrupt, but at the beginning I was like, how can I have my 2 sun gates on this undefined sacral? What is this supposed to do? So I feel like it's magnified, amplified all of the messages of the cross of uncertainty. But anyway, continue about Juliet.
What she had said, that every person she ended up being around for much time, especially her partners in the past, they all started accumulating wealth. But when people say wealth associated with the 14th gate, like, we think of it for money and material resource, but the root origin is sacral, because sacral wealth is true wealth. That is the root of wealth. Wealth will come out of good sacral response. And if you are a projector, you're working with just as much, if not more, sacral energy. You're just working with it counterintuitively. You are channeling it. You are taking it and like bending it, like you're taking it from others and working with it, and then moving it. So if you have that 14th gate, you're going to be working with sacral abundance just as much, but there's like more nuance to it, because you're receiving it. You're around it. You manipulate it in a different way than you would if you had the sacral defined. That's how I see it, at least. What else would I want to say about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.